All right, folks, special live segment of the Dinko Gridiron Show here on a Friday morning. It is game day here in Denton County, and we do want to give a shout out to a couple of the folks that make this possible, help feed our interns, help provide gear for the show. It's all about giving back to the community. So we do want to give a big thank you and a big shout out to our friends at Gillian.
Hey everybody, my name is Matt. I work for Gillian.
We're going to hold off on the video today, but our friends at Gillian Brothers Roofing, we like to work with local companies and give them a call. It's right there on the screen. They'll take great care of you, locally owned. Matter of fact, Dan Gillian played football right here at Denton High School. So give them a call. They'll take great care of you. Let them know the Dinko Gridiron Show sent you. And if you're thinking about a pregame snack or you want to take some stuff up to tailgate, but you don't want to cook, man, our friends at Marty B's down there in Bartonville, Texas, get you a 20 or 40 piece order of wings. Take them up there, some chicken sandwiches, some brisket sliders, whatever you're thinking about. Marty B's can take great care of you. Or check them out this weekend, Saturday. They're going to have some great live music. Check them out, Marty B's place there in Bartonville, Texas. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Well, hey, no one better to break it down for us than head coach of the Denton Guyer Wildcats, Coach Rodney Webb. Welcome to the show, Coach.
Thanks, John. Good to be on.
Well, hey, it's good having you. You know, we obviously built a great relationship with you your first year at Denton Guyer, myself and Rick Threlkill and our crew, Kyle and Quincy and several other students that participated in the Denton Guyer radio. Got to know you very intimately and saw firsthand the work you put in. And it was a great first season. Any reflection on that first year? It was a tough year, but any reflection on that first year as head coach and athletic director at Denton Guyer?
Well, my thought about the 2020 season would just be about how proud I am of everybody, the players, the coaches, the parents, everybody involved in our program, and what a grind it was on everybody last year. And I've told people so many times it was so atypical, fun in spots, but a grind, a pretty stressful season, and everything we had to deal with and manage last year. And I look back on that season, and I'm just so proud at our perseverance. Things did not go normal for anybody, especially us last year, and to have gotten through it the way we did and get all the way to the semifinals. So a lot of pride in that.
Well, Coach, we were talking off camera before we came on air. You're in a brand new facility, a new field house there. I mean, the facilities in Texas are already off the chain, but you're in a brand new field house there on the campus at Denton Guyer. Can you share with us a little bit about the facility and just how impressive it is? I know you're still got a few things on the punch list, but I've been through it during construction, and it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, and really, it's not just the field house that we're in with football, but it's campus wide. The athletics improvements have been pretty substantial. We've got new locker rooms, new coaches' offices, a new weight room over in the main building for our indoor sports. We've got the new South Field house that houses tennis and softball, which is a spectacular facility. The new softball field, it's got to probably be the best softball field in the state of Texas. Baseball field's had a redo. We have a new turf field on the south end of the East Field House. And then the old field house that formerly housed all of our outdoor sports has been redone as well. And that field house now just services baseball, soccer, and track. But the football field house, the East Field House, is, I would not imagine there's another field house in the state of Texas other than in the Denton ISD that can match what we've got out here. And I am so proud for the coaches that have been here, that have persevered through the last 15 years of having, frankly, subpar facilities up to this point. I'm really proud for those coaches that have endured everything they've endured to be able to get to where we're at right now. I feel guilty myself. It's just my second year here, and I'm already living in the lap of luxury. So
I know Coach Kyle Keese is really proud of that weight room. I know he's an integral part of your program there, and I know this summer when the weight room was open, there a lot of, and it's always been this way at Guyer, and I'm sure a lot of high schools around Texas, Coach, but a lot of graduates, kids playing college ball, kids that just want to still be part of the program, come in and get a workout in. And you mentioned that new baseball facility, which is unbelievable. I know Coach Watson and the staff there are really proud of that. But I know a lot of kids came back and worked this offseason in that new it's not really a full indoor hitting facility, but it's a nice covered roof and just a fantastic practice facility that's going to make all the athletics, like you mentioned there at Denton Guyer, just that much stronger and help the kids prepare for their futures.
Yeah, everywhere I've been, I've always called it lifetime membership to the club. You got, if you give us 4, we're going to give you 40 back in return. And so that's the way it's been here at Guyer, and that's the way I've always run it. I want to make sure that the kids that come through our program have the opportunity to come back and be able to work out and maintain being a part of it, so to speak.
Well, Coach, man, no surprise. Big game tonight. It's Friday night at Apogee Stadium. Humble Atascocita comes in town and ranked number 4. You're ranked number 5. Before we get into that, you come in 3-0. You had an impressive, hard-fought battle win over Denton Ryan, ranked number 1 in 5A. It was really a defensive battle. I know you had a strong defense coming into this season. Denton Ryan always has a strong defense. Before we get into tonight's game, can you talk a little bit about how that Denton Ryan game maybe prepared you physically and mentally for tonight's matchup?
Well, you can't it's very difficult to simulate those situations like the Denton Ryan game that was such just a 4-quarter knockdown, drag out, went all the way to overtime. You can't simulate that in practice. You can't simulate that against a team that you beat by 30 or 40. So to have been through that battle and to have come out victorious and know what it takes, know what you have to do down the stretch to win a game like that is invaluable. And it's certainly going to help us down the road. Whether or not it helps us tonight remains to be seen, but there's going to be a point down the road that having been through that battle is going to certainly benefit us.
Well, Coach, Humble brings in a ton of talent. They're averaging 44 points a game, so they've got the offensive power. But we were talking earlier, their defense really stands out. I think they hold their opponent to about 14 points a game. And it starts with their big nose tackle. And if I'm reading this right, 6'3", 396 pounds. Is that accurate?
Well, I think it depends on what kind of breakfast he had this morning. I mean, if he ate well, he might be over 400. I don't really know. It's funny to me that he's listed at 396 because I figure that probably fluctuates a little bit.
Yeah, that is crazy. Of course, he's going to just be like a sponge in the middle of that line. And it starts there, but they've got a talent all on both sides of the ball. What are some of the other areas, some of the other athletes that Humble brings in tonight that has kind of got your attention, some players to watch, and for Guyer, some kids that you're going to have to take care of?
Well, the thing about Atascocita that I think makes them the most special is they're balanced. Offensively, they've got a massive, very, very high-quality offensive line. The quarterback is a dual threat. They've got a good running back, but they don't hesitate to allow the quarterback to run the ball a whole lot as well. And then they've got 3 receivers that can really go get it. So they're tremendously balanced offensively. And then defensively, they've got the massive defensive front, but they've also got some really good cover guys in the back end. So, I think they're really one of those teams that in Class 6A Division I, I think they're on a short list of teams that I think have the ability to win the state championship this year. They remind me a lot of the North Shore teams from the past couple of years. They're that quality of a team, so they're certainly going to test us tonight. I'm excited about seeing how our kids respond to the opportunity to play somebody so talented.
Well, Coach, before we get into the Guyer side of things, let's talk a little bit about logistics. I've got it up on the screen now. The game is at Apogee Stadium. It's going to be a playoff-like atmosphere. It's going to be broadcast live on TexanLive.com. I believe you can find the game there. And logistically, though, there's still probably some people that are thinking about making their plans for Friday night. I believe the tickets can only be bought online only. Is that correct? What are some of the logistics to get to the game tonight, and are tickets still available?
Oh, yeah, tickets are available. I'd love to think we're going to sell out Apogee, but probably won't. Yeah, you got to buy them online. I think if you go to the Denton ISD website, navigate around, you can find the link. The tickets are purchased through the University of North Texas. I know they're $8 for adults and students. And again, I think if you just get on the district website, you find the link pretty easily to be able to buy tickets.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll hunt up that link and confirm it's right, and we'll post it here in the Denko Gridiron Facebook, and we'll put it out on Twitter as well. So I'm sure you can find it out there.
And John, I'll add that a lot of people have asked me, why are we playing this game at Apogee? And the reason is because Ryan and Denton High play each other this week. Braswell has a home game this week against Eaton, and we have the home game. So it's 3 games needing to be played. Nobody wanted to play on Saturday. It didn't seem fair.
Right.
It was not going to be fair for us to ask Atascocita to come up on a Thursday. So that's when Apogee got involved. We checked with the people in North Texas. They were willing to host a game, and we just volunteered. I felt like it'd be the right thing to do. Atascocita driving 4 hours to get up here, give them an opportunity to play in a college stadium. I thought would be a pretty good gesture on our part.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they travel. I know, obviously, parents, siblings, they'll obviously probably make the road trip, but it'll be interesting to see what type of student population comes up from Atascocita. I know the Blue Crew will be out there strong for Denton Geyer, but it'll be interesting to see how they make that road trip early in the season. I mean, it should be fun. Always fun in high school to have a little road trip, and especially as a student. So that'll be interesting. And hats off to the UNT and Apogee, and not a bad recruiting move as well. Get kids on both sides of the ball a chance to see what type of facilities the University of North Texas Mean Green football program has to offer as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of incentive, I think, for them, but they've been really tremendous to work with. I mean, they've gone way above and beyond the call of duty to help us pull this off.
Well, you mentioned the quarterback for Atascocita, Gavin Sessions. Playmaker, both through the air with his feet, much like your quarterback we'll talk about here in a minute, Jackson Arnold. It really, the key for your defense is to slow him down. I mean, what are going to be the keys to success on bringing them off that 44 points per game average, Coach?
Well, I think the biggest thing is just going to be to limit their explosive plays. They're a very explosive team. And so, limiting the amount of big plays they make, forcing them into being patient and executing and driving the ball down the field. I'm not sure they have the patience to be able to do that every series. So that's going to be a big part of it. They're going to get what they're going to get. They're very talented, very well coached. And so they're going to gain some yards and score some points. There's no question about that. But with us, it's just a matter of making them work for it as much as possible.
Well, Coach, I'm going to bring up, I've got a picture on the screen now of really two, I hate to say bookends because they're not bookends, that would be more defensive ends, but really the foundation of your offense right now, Jackson Arnold and BJ Phillips. It starts there. Obviously, you want to establish a ground game. Of course, you've got a stable of receivers like Denton Geyer's always had, and several we'll talk about here in a minute. But talk about the importance of establishing a running game tonight, especially against that big defensive line of Atascocita.
Yeah, I'm not really sure that anybody is going to be able to just run the football very effectively against them because of the way they play defense. But I think you have to run it enough to keep them honest. You got to be effective enough to force them to continue to load the box like they want to do. So that's going to be an important thing tonight, is that we run the ball well enough to keep them honest. And then, I think for us, it's going to be a matter of being efficient through the air tonight. We haven't not been in through 3 games this year as efficient throwing and catching the football as we need to be. But that's why we're playing non-district games. That's what these games are for. You try to get better each and every week. You always want to think there's room for improvement. But here we are in the last non-district game, and when we get on the field next Friday, they count, and it's for real. And so I think it's important tonight for us, from an offensive efficiency standpoint, to play better than we played the first 3 weeks.
Well, your receiving core, Brody Noble had a big game last week. I think 2 touchdowns. Of course, you got a lot of threats there. Jace Wilson, big, tall receiver. I think he goes about 6'5". I don't know if he's grown some in the offseason. And then the speed with Grayson O'Bara, that's got to keep most defenses off balance and really help establish that running game as well. Through the air tonight, did you anticipate a pretty good balance between running the ball with BJ and then through the air? Or I know you don't want to let out too much of your strategy to Atascocita, but what are your thoughts here?
Well, our strategy never changes much. We want to be balanced. We're our best offensively when we're balanced, not just in terms of play selection, but in terms of ball distribution. So we're at our best when the ball's getting distributed to all receivers, and then we've got a healthy opportunity to run the football and get the ball to our running back. So that's what we're always looking for. And again, I think when you see us at our best offensively, it's when we're balanced in terms of ball distribution.
Well, Coach, I'm going to bring up a picture of the Blue Crew. That's kind of like the 12th man that A&M has. The Blue Crew, boy, was loud and proud during that Denton-Ryan game, that overtime win. And I know they're a little bit of an X factor. Do you anticipate a big showing from your student body, the Blue Crew, up at Apogee Stadium tonight?
Yeah, they've been great every game this year. Even the Thursday game down at Mansfield last week, the numbers were a little bit smaller, but they made their voices heard early on. They've been awesome. I mean, it's got to be for sure one of the greatest student sections in our state. And I'm not sure that they realize the impact that they have on a game, bringing energy to our sidelines and being kind of an intimidating factor to the opponent. We love them.
Well, Coach, this has been awesome. I know you've got an office full of folks here, I think, knocking at your door, waiting to get at you. Any parting comments, any message to the Geyer Nation out there as they get prepared for this big game tonight?
Well, as long as everybody just knows that we're always working as hard as we can to put the best product forward. And, to me, for those people that haven't got to know me all that well yet, it's all about success on the field, but it's also all about class and character on the field. So we want to play well. We want to represent Geyer High School and Denton ISD always in the right way. We want to win the right way. We've got a bunch of kids that are easy to root for, good kids on the field, good kids off the field. And so I just think we're one of those teams this year that it's easy to get behind. And we've got an opportunity, if we continue to progress, to have a really special year.
Hey, I do want to thank those photos were provided by Jeff Wu of the Denton Record Chronicle, and we have a partnership with the Denton Record Chronicle, and it's all about the community. I know they do a great job covering Denton Geyer and all of Denton ISD sports. So thank you, Jeff. And Coach Rodney Webb, thank you so much for being part of this special live segment on the Denko Gridiron Show. We'll see you at Apogee Stadium tonight. We'll be up there.
Awesome.
Take care.
Thanks, John.
Man, what a treat. Coach Rodney Webb, Denton Geyer. You can still get tickets online. It's tonight, 7 p.m. against Humble Atascocita, number 4, number 5 in the state. It'll be a playoff-like atmosphere. You won't want to miss it. Y'all have a great day.